Hello everybody. Today we are going to start a new chapter. The name of the chapter is Plant Structure and Functions. Okay. In this we will first see the different types of plants. So the different types of plants are herbs, shrubs, trees, climbers and creepers. So now especially we will see the climbers and creepers. Some of the plants are very weak and very soft. So they cannot climb up, they cannot grow straight of its own. So they need a support. By taking this help of the support, they will try to grow up by climbing from one branches to another or from one support to another. That is called the climbers. Another one is the creeper. They grow undergrounds, like creeping on the grounds. These are called creepers. Examples of climber is pea plant, then you have cucumbers and some others. Then creepers are like weeds, and you call it seaweeds and also many things. Now parts of the plants, we will see the parts of the plants. The parts of the plants are divided into two parts. One is shoot system and one is the root systems. Those parts which grow above the soil are called shoot system, and those which grow below the soil is called the root systems. Now we'll see what is root system. Now when the seed is germinated, the root grows first. The small root that develops from the seed is called the radicals. The radicals grow into a primary roots, and they bear lots of hairs which anchors the soil to give support to the plants. Now the roots are also divided into two types. One is taproot and one is the fibrous roots. Taproots, they bear some branches, thick hard branches, then they have a main roots which fix to the soil. Another one is they have a mostly mango trees, then we have lychee trees. So then some of the big grown trees are roots are called taproots. Then some fibrous like vegetables roots and some shrubs roots, they are fibrous because they have lots of fibers which try to anchor the plants, anchor the soil to help the plants to grow. Now next we come the shoot systems. Shoot systems means those parts of the plants which grow above the soil. Mostly the leaves, branches, flowers, fruits which bears from that are the shoot systems. Now we see the root system. Now one virtual lab, that means one activity to note the importance of the root systems, that is root absorb water and minerals from the soil. To undergo this activity, we need to take a two tap, we could or two bucket, we call it A and B, and we will take two small shrubs or small plants. Then we need one kurfi, one scissor, then we need water funnel. Now what we'll do is that one will take some soil also. We will fix the bucket, the soil, fill up the bucket with the soil. We will take one plants, we will dig with the kurfi, make a hole, then we will plant it. Next one we will cut with the scissor the roots, then we will plant it. Then we will after that we will water both the plants. After a week we will see that the plants with the root grows well, fresh and is alive. Another one which the roots is cut off becomes dry and dead. So this is the activities to show that roots absorb water from the soil. Because the bucket B, the root is cut off, so it cannot absorb water. A, it has a root, so it can absorb the water. Now we will see the functions of the root. Functions of the root systems. The function of the root system is number one is to fix the plant to the soil, that is fixation. Number two is conductions, that means the minerals from the soil is conducted to the different parts of the plant through the root. Next is prevent soil erosions. These root anchors or fix with the soil so that it helps the water, the soil which are to be washed away with the water, it protects. Now after functions of the root systems, we will see the modification of the root, how root is modified. Root is modified for storing of the food, for breathing, for nitrogen fixations. So now storing food. Some roots are modified to store food. These storage roots are fleshy and swollen. Next is breathing. Some plants grow in a swamp area where the water is there, the soil are very soft, then marshy, then have a branch roots which points little bit upward above the soil, 2, 3. Then what happens? This exposed part, what they trap or absorb air, these roots which grows little bit above the soil as a shoot, which absorbs air from the water, is called, that part is called pneumatophores. Example, mangrove trees have such breathing roots. Now nitrogenous fixations. To the plants to grow well on the soil, they need a good nitrogenous products. So this nitrogen fixation is very much important. Like leguminous plants such as pea and beans have swollen structures called noodles on their roots. Noodles on their roots. Now bacteria in these roots convert the nitrogen in the air into compound that the plant can use when required. Next comes the shoot systems. We know that the parts of the plant that grow above the soil form the shoot systems. They include stem, branches, leaves, flower, fruits and seeds. Now the stem is the first part of the shoot systems. Functions of the stem. The function of the stem is the stem straightens and bears the other part of the shoot. It transports water and food between the roots and the rest of the plant. Again, the food which is prepared in the leaves are again transported back to different parts of the plant. They are played by the special channel called xylem and phloem. Some plants store foods in the stem. Some plants produce through their stems. From the stems, leaves are also being produced from the special part. Sometimes we call it from the knots. Next, modification of stem. Again, stem is also modified. The main important modification of stem is storage of food. The stem of some plants like ginger, potato and turmeric remain underground. They store food so that they become thick and fleshy. The bulbs of these underground stems can grow using the stored food. They store the food for the future use. Now next comes the leaves. Now leaves, next comes the leaf. Leaf is also a part of a shoot systems. First we get the stem, then leaves. Now these leaves are the important parts of the plants because they can make food for the plants. The leaves arise from the stems at the some points called knots. The part of the stem between the two knots is called internot. That means one stem grows this side, one stem grows this side. one leaves grow from in the, this is the stem, one leaves grow this side, another leaf little bit above or below. The distance between the two leaf is called internodes. Again, structure of the leaves. The leaves are structured in such a way by a main features called venations, or the main arrangement called the venation. The arrangement of the veins in the leaf is known as venation of the leaves. There are two types of venations. One is reticulate venations and one is parallel venations. Now, in the reticulate venations, you will find midribs, main part from the leaves. Then you will find the veins. These veins, in the veins also there are different leaves. So many branches are growing up on the ribs. Then you will have an apex. Then the leaf margins are also little bit of a black types. We will find the leaves of mango, then mango, jackfruit. Then you will have this one pea plant, grapes leaves, pea leaves. All these are reticulate. Next, another one is parallel venations. Most of these parallel venations, you will find that the leaves is directly one rib is or lamina. In the lamina, the lamina is parallel to the midrib. Perpendicular with the midribs, and it is in a parallel way, straight state, one another after. The distance between the two midribs are also parallel. For example, in banana, maize, grass, sugarcane, etc. Now, let us see the function of the leaves. The main function of the leaf is to manufacture food for the plants. Leaves make food from carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight. Chlorophyll, the green substance found in the leaves, traps the energy from the sun, and they have a chemical reactions inside the leaves which makes up food and release oxygens. Next, transpiration is also one important part of the leaves. The excess water which the plants have absorbed from the as a form of minerals from the soil or by the leaves are being released from a small part called stomata in the form of transpirations. Now, next comes the flowers. Before going to the different modification functions and its fruit formations and all details, we'll see this. First, we'll see the structure of the flowers. The structure of the flower is such that the flower consists of pedicles, sepals, ovules, overa, style, stigma, pastils, petal, stamen, anther, and filaments. Now, we will see what is a stamen. The inner to the petals are stamen. Petals are the flowers that part, the petals part, that is the lip part, which are usually most colorful for the flowers. Which are now these stamens, which are the male part of the flowers. Each stamen has stalk called the filaments in the stamen, which is like a box structure or like a bean structure on the top called the anther. The anther contains powdery particles called pollen grains. These pollen grains, what they do, at the center of the flower is pistils. Along with the pistils, it tries to produce a next flower, that is they go on reproducing systems. The pistil has three parts. The ovary is attached to the base of the flowers and contain the egg cell called ovules. When they trap each other, these pistils, the pollen grains will enter slowly into the ovary and interact with the ovules. The top of the pistil is stigma, which is sticky. This stick will trap it, absorb it, and it will not allow it to return back. The ovary and the stigma are connected through the tube-like structure called the style. Now, sometimes these ovules, this ovary, when they become very swollen, we get fruits from the flowers also. For example, like pineapples, jackfruits, then some of the fruits are there. When like cucumber also, watermelon, all, that is the ovary, when they become when they are swollen, when they become big, slowly the flower will be reduced to its very small forms, then it will be dried up and fall down, then we will find the edible things. So thank you everybody, hope you have understood little bit. The remaining parts or the remaining things which you want to know more, you can undergo to the books. Thank you.
Stay home, stay safe.
Do it for self.
Do it for your family. Do it for India.
Let's break the chain of COVID-19.
हम होंगे कामयाब, जय हिंद। हम होंगे कामयाब, जय हिंद।
हम होंगे कामयाब। जय हिंद।